I wrote a letter to Santa and I said, look, I've been a good boy all year and I really would like a wood lathe for Christmas. Now, I don't know if Santa disagrees with how good of a boy I've been, or if he thought the wood lathe was for Chuck. But here it is. Santa brought me a wood lathe. It's on the small size. But I think it'll be fun to play with. Thanks, Santa. If you want to bypass Santa and buy one of these online, search eBay or Amazon for Bead lathe. Here's what came in the box. Here's the mini lathe. As far as I can tell, there is no maker's name. There is no part number. Came with a power supply. It looks like this power supply has a selector. I'm guessing those might be voltages. So that's how you regulate the speed of the mini lathe. Came with a bag of goodies. In here is a chuck key, some Allen head wrenches. I believe this mandrel is what you use in the chuck to do your turning. And it also came with this set of tools. It says 6 pieces wood carving set. We'll see how they do. What was not in the box is any sort of documentation or instructions. Most of this is pretty self-explanatory. This is the chuck key. And it works. Okay, that's easy. This is the mandrel you put in the chuck for turning. Here's a close-up of that. That's easy. This Allen key that you can use to adjust the tailstock, and you can also unclamp the center. Now these three, these look like straight Allen keys. I haven't found what they fit. I have it plugged in and I have the selector on the lowest voltage. You ready? Here goes. Alright, I'm going to pick the next voltage. And again. Look out. Alright, looks like the variable speed feature works. So the base is a extruded aluminum channel, and all these pieces have these square nuts, and they just ride either in that channel or that channel. So for instance, the tool rest has a square nut on it, and you can slide that in here, slide it around and tighten it down where you want it. Same thing with the tailstock, has the same square nuts. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but what I think it is a way to turn this little mini lathe into a mini table saw. I think if you take like a Dremel sized saw blade, now I don't have a saw blade, but here's a Dremel sized cutting disc, If you mount that here, and you put this over top, it'll come up through that slit and turn this thing into like a table saw. I'll quickly attach that just to show how it looks. So there's the grinding disc in the chuck coming up through the slit. I guess that would make like a little mini table saw if you had a saw blade similar to this grinding disc. I have no plans to use it like that right now, but I did want to show that's how I think that's intended. That's what that's intended for. Like I said, I don't have any instructions. That's my guess. The chuck is labeled 6mm. That's 0.236 inches. I was able to get an eye drill in here. That's 0.272 inches. And I was able to get it to go in about 1 1/8 inches. I have the tailstock adjusted all the way back. Looks like, what's that, about 5 1/8? So that gives you an idea how long of a piece you can turn. It looks like you could turn something up to about 2 inches in diameter. Let me put the tool rest in. That might change things. With the tool rest in place, 2 inches seems like it'll be really tight, especially if that screw head gets in the way. Be really tight. So somewhere around 2 inches, which is probably a lot for this little lathe. I think the weak point of this kit is the tools. I guess that's what's going to pass as like a roughing gouge. Look how thin the metal is. That one's just flat. Yeah. These might not work great. I'm going to try to use them on the first project, just to see what's possible. That's like a V gouge. Not sure what application that would really have for turning, but we'll give it a try. So I picked up one of these magnetic bit holders from Harbor Freight. My plan is to put this bit in it, put that bit in the chuck, and then turn a wood handle, something along the lines of a handle like this. I have a piece of 1¼ inch poplar that I'm going to use. I cut the dowel down to size and marked the center on each end. I center drilled one end to fit the live center in the tailstock. On the other end, I drilled a hole slightly smaller than the 1/4 inch hex on the bit holder, I think 204, and whacked it in. I put a bit in the magnetic holder and tightened the chuck down on it. I clamped the tiny lathe into my bench vise. This seems to be a good working height for me. I have the controller set on the lowest voltage. Let's see how balanced this is. Seems like it's running pretty true. I'm going to start off with this curved roughing gouge looking tool. Alright, first cuts. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to give this curved flat cutter a try now. I adjusted the tool rest to help me round over this edge. I'm going to try this flat tool. Now I'm going to use this V-shaped gouge to start working on the back. I'm going to go back to the curve tool and true up the main body of the handle. I'm going to take this tool and try to cut a couple decorative grooves in the handle. I remove the tool rest so I can reach in and sand. Okay, I finished sanding. I'm just going to part it off with a hacksaw. I'm going to touch this butt section up with some hand sanding. I finished the handle with some free pile stain and free pile urethane. I think it looks okay. I got a Phillips bit in here right now. I think this gives you a good idea what you can achieve with the mini lathe. Had a lot of fun making it. I'm really glad Santa brought me this for Christmas. I've had a lot of fun playing with it. And I'm pretty happy with how my first project turned out. I think this mini lathe is a good value, but I would say the tools are definitely the weak point. The metal is just too thin and they just vibrate too much. That's definitely something I'm going to have to look into upgrading for future projects. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'm interested to see how good this little screwdriver works. I have a piece of pine and a drywall or deck type screw. I'm going to try this with no pre-drilled starter hole. See how it goes. Alright, it goes good. I'm through the other side. Looks like it works pretty good.